The News at Noon begins with an update here in team coverage of breaking news and an overnight tragedy we're following here. At least 8 people were killed, another 10 injured after a crash in Glades County.
Officials say the church van from Fort Pierce ran a stop sign and careened into a ditch. NBC2 has team coverage. Let's begin with Trent Kelly, who's live outside of Moorhaven, where the crash took place early this morning. Trent?
Yeah, Brian, we are just to the north of US 27. Within the past couple hours or so, troopers were able to completely clear this scene. So we're getting our first good look at where this van crashed. Right behind me is the intersection where troopers say that van ran a stop sign. The driver then careened across all 4 lanes of US 27, ending up in this ditch right here. You can see, looking this close to the ditch, you can see just how deep it is and how much water is inside. Now, as soon as word first broke about this accident, many family members and friends of the people riding inside that van came out to the scene to check out the damage firsthand.
So this is our church. This is all the people we love. This is all the people we know. We're very, very close.
Unconsolable grief and sorrow.
It's sad. We lost 8 people today. You can't just get past it.
Just hours after troopers say this van from the Independent Haitian Assembly Church of God in Fort Pierce blew past a stop sign and slammed head first into a ditch filled with water. 18 people were inside the van. 8 of them died, including the driver.
And one person was able to crawl out and call, and that's what alerted everybody to know what was going on.
Mara Lexine's father is a pastor at the church and says the group was heading back to Fort Pierce after attending a revival at a Haitian church in Fort Myers.
They were going to a church convention, which my father is the pastor of our church, which is the reason why they were going on that way.
10 passengers had to be rushed to 4 different hospitals. 4 passengers taken away in critical condition, another 4 in serious condition, including a 4-year-old girl. As troopers now begin searching for answers, all friends and family can do is pray.
And we just need your prayers for the loved ones of those who've passed. It's going to be really hard.
Now, troopers are telling us that right now that van has been impounded at a tow lot in Clewiston. As for the people inside that van, again, 18 people riding inside the van. We're told typically vans like this are made to carry only about 15 people or so. According to guidelines on the National Transportation Safety Board's website, when these vans are carrying more than 15 people, their center of gravity tends to shift around. Again, that's going to be one aspect of the investigation that troopers will be looking into as this investigation moves forward. For now, reporting live from Glades County, Trent Kelly, NBC2.
Trent, thank you. And we continue our team coverage at noon. The group was in Fort Myers for a revival. They came to the Church of God Christian Faith in Fort Myers. NBC2's Lucas Seiler talked with the pastor of that church, and he has more now.
Good afternoon. 5 of the passengers are being treated inside Lee Memorial Hospital behind me right now. 2 of them are in critical condition, 2 in serious, and a 4-year-old is stable. Members of this church in Fort Myers and members from the Fort Pierce Church, I'm told, were just spending time together last night. That group left late last night back to Fort Pierce, and the church here in Fort Myers then got a horrible phone call. I've been keeping in touch with the pastor of the Fort Myers Church and a deacon, both of whom are inside the hospital right now with the victims. I'm told that this group comes to Fort Myers from Fort Pierce every year for the end of revival. It's a celebration to renew their faith. I'm told everyone inside that bus, all 18 passengers, were either family members or very close friends. And just moments ago, I spoke exclusively with the pastor here in Fort Myers, still in shock about what's happened.
I heard the situation happen last night. That's really make me really sad because Pastor Matthew and Pastor Nestim, they are a good friend of me because they're all friends.
A very emotional time, as you can imagine, for this very closely knit community here in Fort Myers and in Fort Pierce. Both of them so connected and so closely knit, trying to grasp everything that's happened. The pastor here in Fort Myers tells us that he heard from one of the surviving passengers that the bus driver hit something on the road and then lost control. That's information that we're trying to confirm with Florida Highway Patrol right now. You can count on NBC2 to keep you updated. Reporting in Fort Myers, Lucas Seiler, NBC2.
Yeah, such a sad story, Lucas. Thank you. We'll count on NBC2 for the latest too in this investigation, as Lucas mentioned. As we learn more about this developing story, we will of course pass it on air and online.
NBC continuing to follow breaking news out of Glades County. At least 8 people are dead, another 10 injured after a church van from Fort Pierce ran a stop sign and careened into a ditch. Right now at noon, NBC2 speaks exclusively with survivors who made it out alive of that crash. NBC2's Natasha Verma is live in Fort Pierce with the latest. Natasha.
The general mood here is shock, trauma, and chaos. There are at least 100 people standing in front of the church, most of whom are friends and families of the victims involved in that fatal crash. Now, we spoke with one of the survivors. That's Nicholas Alexis. He was actually in the second row of the van and suffered major leg injuries. Now, just listening to his account, I can tell you, is so chilling. Alexis tells us the driver lost control. People fell on top of him and into the water.
Soon he lost control. The van go right in the river. So I have 4 people fell in my shoulder. So I pulled them out. Help! I need help! I need help! I need help! And nobody can help me. So and I keep raising my hand like that. I fell down.
A few minutes ago, FHP gave us a list of the names of those involved in the crash, those killed in the crash, one of whom was 58-year-old Volsaint Mersai. He was the driver. Now, all family members have been notified. Of course, count on NBC2 to bring you the latest on this ongoing investigation. Live in Fort Pierce, Natasha Verma, NBC2.
This tragedy is very similar to another crash that happened last year. 2 people died when a church group from the Tampa area crashed on their way to Georgia. It happened near Lake City. 7 children were on board. The 2 adults inside were thrown from the vehicle and died. Troopers say the cause of this crash was a blown tire.